Give me literally 3 minutes.
Yep. Hi guys, welcome for episode 4 of the shittiest, most boring TV program ever seen. And I must admit, this one it was so boring. It was numbing. Anything it was done to get a reaction, the fight sequences were boring. The deaths in it.
You see, I'm gonna fight you on this.
Oh no, I think
I'm
it's one
actually
of the
gonna
most
fight you on this
boring
because
programs that I've ever seen.
they do have good stuff, but do allow me a couple of minutes. I have to finish off.
I know I'm rambling for a wee while you go and do your stuff. However, I can only say this has been one of the most boring things I'd ever watched. It literally got zero. Didn't get me annoyed. Didn't get me happy. Didn't even. It literally anything that happened in it, I just felt yeah, nothing. It literally gave me zero reactions. I found nothing redemptive about this episode at all. I didn't even get angry with it. Didn't even get annoyed with it. I just felt nothing. To me, it was almost like watching a show with a load of character names but it's a different show. It'd be like watching The Big Bang Theory, but all the characters had the name from Game of Thrones, for want of a better word. And then basically, it's a setting of the Big Bang Theory with the characters from the Game of Thrones called characters from the Gilmore Girls. Literally, it has got nothing to do with the books. The names of the characters are there, but they have got nothing in common with any of the characters in the books. Even in the outside, I found them tedious, and all it did, apart from anything else, it did two things. One, it basically cemented the fact that Nynaeve is going to be the dragon. End of story. That is it. She is
Well, I
basically
think
set
you're
up as
jumping
a
a bit
dragon.
ahead here, but you have had some good comparisons, and I will say this: link is going out because we know that there may be someone that may want to join us.
Yep.
Give me a couple of seconds. I literally quit work 4 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But
Well,
don't trash
I've just
Gilmore
stopped
Girls.
being
Gilmore
brain dead.
Girls I liked, not because the daughter, because I liked the mum. The mum was hilarious.
Well, I've never watched it. I was just using it as an example of things that were just thrown together.
Yeah.
Literally, this program has the character names, but that is it. There is nothing in common with the book
character
at
names
all.
it is, but I do have a lot of other things where I'm going. Hang on. If I put this as a standalone, complete standalone, ignoring everything that has happened before, if this was the intro, this was the
It would have been
first
boring as
episode,
hell.
it would still be, yes, agreed. But compared to the nonsense we've seen, this would
The problem
definitely.
is, this is just more nonsense, and I think it's just a case of I've just got to the point where, yeah, I don't care enough about it to even get annoyed at it because it has got zero to do with the books. The characters, they're all over the place. The things that happen are nonsensical. You look at the fight sequences, they were boring. They were literally boring. And all this faffing around with their hands to demonstrate the power. Yeah,
No, we're far beyond the hand weaving or anything.
yeah,
okay, yes, they do this. They do this to like, oh, we're doing an eggshell.
yeah, but they basically see their hands going when they're actually casting. So it's implying that's why the white cloaks the last time cut their hands off to stop them being able to cast. And the fact that even Matrim time, right? So basically, he's sitting there. He can cast without doing anything, but the women have to do all the hand gestures and stuff like that. And even the fact is, Colin had actually said earlier on that at least it gave hint of the one power being actually two parts. I found that complete opposite. They basically said the one power, and every time the men touch it, they they get tainted by it.
But
Not
this
a
is
case of they
why I'm
adapt and
seeing
tainted.
this as standalone, because
But that's
this
the point.
is
You can't
one
take
time
it
they're actually
standalone.
portraying it real. They're starting to
Yeah.
actually go in. Hang on, it is not this one-sided, but it starts off really strong. It starts off absolutely strong. You have Lugain and the king that he's persuading to join his army. I'll have you with me, whether you're my friend or my enemy.
Yeah. I must
But
admit, you
after
must have
that, it
higher
literally just
tolerance
goes.
for bullshit than I have. You must have a higher tolerance for bullshit.
No, no, no,
All
no,
right,
no.
Colin. All right, Colin. Thank you for
I
joining us.
have been murdered by the butchery they've done before this. So when I see this standalone, I'm just going, this is where they should have begun. Okay, skip the entire Emmons Field, skip all of that story,
And
which is
unfortunately, I want
important.
to skip the whole fucking season.
We got that.
I still agree.
It literally, Colin. I do know I'm a bit of a rambler when it comes to this.
But we
What
do
did
have
you
Colin
think
here
of
to
it?
provide a little bit of balance, because I'm still with you on the books.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
know me and Jim are book readers. We've read the books. Colin, you've not read the book. You've just heard us rambling about the books, and you've watched the show.
yeah.
So what did you think?
I've come to conclusion that they should stop. That if they're going to make something from a book, they should change as much names as they can and say this is inspired by such and such, but it is not, because
Yeah.
all they tend to do in a lot of these is they irritate. They always seem to irritate a large majority of the fans of whatever it is. I'm coming at it from a different point of view, whereas so anybody that watches the reviews of it that isn't familiar with it has
Yeah.
to wait, has to deal with the fact that a lot of people are saying, well, it's not like a book here, there, and now. And I'm thinking, okay, but I've never read the book, so what is it like? And they're having to try to find a review that isn't pissed off with it because it's not like the book. And
Yeah.
most of the people looking at it aren't. I said what I said about the one power. I'm sure there was a quote in there. I'm sure I noticed it because there's a bit in that episode, I'm sure, where one of the characters explained that it had been. Oh dear God! I just realised I'm making almost exactly the same hand movements as the bloody women make when they're doing magic. I hadn't realised.
Yeah, I know.
Literally waving my hand like that. But no, that I'm sure that they explained it about it having been corrupted the last time around.
It was corrupted by the men, and remember they said the very first one was that every time you touch it, you taint it more.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That implies it's just the one that both of them did. This one, they actually said it as well, that when the men did it, there was a counterstroke that tainted it for men. So basically, every time a man touches it, he feels the taint, whereas the women don't. So they're still implying it's one power because it's called the one power.
But exactly,
These guys,
this is the script kiddies. They just glanced over the book. Oh, she's a
I don't
witch.
think
Burn,
that,
burn her
honestly,
on the
I'm
stake.
still sticking
No,
to my
they heard. They
Cliff
got the
Notes.
same.
They've
The
not read
same
the
idea.
books.
It's the one source, but it is the male and the female source. When it's combined, that is the one source.
Yeah. I still go down the route. They did not read the books. They've got Cliff Notes. Somebody says, right, the magic in this is called the one power. Right, we've got the one power. Don't need to mention the magic again. Okay. The women are the Aes Sedai and they control the power. Okay, right, we'll have to get them having the control of power. But when the men touch the one power, it's tainted. Right, okay, we'll have to explain that. right, okay, the warders, right, we'll have to explain them. And it's a case of, as I said, it's almost like let's take King Arthur, right? Write a King Arthur book, but tell a kid the basic characteristics of every character in the King Arthur story, and then give him a crane. That's what they've done with this. They've got no concept of the books. A kid has written it, or somebody with the mental age of a kid, probably 2-year-old, maybe I would say. Not much older than that, because they've got
You're
literally
far too
zero
charitable.
common sense. And it was tick boxes again, left, right, and centre. And it is literally, but the problem is, they've not even got good actors and actresses to play the parts. And
Oh, no, you know, I'm gonna have to fight you quite a lot on this.
I know you can disagree all you want, but I'm quite happy you being wrong in this.
Well, if I'd agree with you, both of us would be wrong.
Yeah, I'm never wrong.
I actually thought I agree with you. At the end, you go, oh dear God. Okay, so all of a sudden, Nynaeve suddenly she has the power. Oh God, she is He-Man. And oh look, amazingly enough, apparently channeling the power. One side of power we hadn't known about. It's also a hairdresser because it changes your hairstyle completely.
Yeah, because it stood up name.
Yeah.
But you think about it as
I
well.
was hoping I was going to get.
Do you know
missed.
why? I've been saying from the beginning it's going to be either Egwene or Nynaeve who's going to be the dragon. Simple fact I said it today was Moiraine gave this speech to Matron Time. Basically says your power is nothing. Your power will pile into insignificance to the glow of the dragon.
No, it's Matt.
And
Not
what
Matt
did he say?
That is what she says to Lugain.
Yeah, sorry, Lugain. No Matron Time. Sorry, Lugain. And basically, because I was so bored with it, I wasn't even paying attention.
To I will allow that to slide because
it's literally she says that to him, and then at the end, Egwene goes off, and he goes, "Oh, it's almost a case of there you go. I've just told you who it's going to be. You need to look out for it. Oh, by the way, since I just said that 2 seconds ago, here it's here, just so you can." That's almost. It's a case of no build up. It's just a case of this is going to happen. There it's here.
I thought though that the way they dealt with Logain was it. I was quite interested because he's coming and he's actually coming and he is actually until you get to the end where they just kill him off because these people
gentle him.
Gentle.
He is actually representing a valid point. He, as far as we the audience can tell, or sort of he's into me, he says they should be following me because I want to fix the world, which is what supposedly the Aes Sedai or Moiraine supposedly also wants. They're building him up, I think, all the way through that. The only thing is, okay, this is episode 4. Fine. If he is the dragon, this is going to be a very, very short series, so he's not going to be. But I thought, from the point of view of showing the positive side of the Dragon Reborn, that was actually quite good. But then they went and ruined it all by.
Yeah, but the problem is, they said right at the beginning, one of you 5 are the dragon. So they've already said from the beginning, one of those 5 are the dragon. So it doesn't matter. They just keep saying false dragon. So because they've already told you one of those 5 are the dragon.
But no, there's not the 5 of them. It's not the 5. But this is where I really want to jump in. It's if you read the book early on, you get the gist. Logain is extremely powerful. He was really difficult to bring down. He required multiple sisters, Aes Sedai, to take him down, to get him. But none of the things you see in the TV show, none of that happened. They conquered him. They had him securely locked down. They got him through Camelin and all the way to Tar Valon. There was no issues, none whatsoever. But even in the book, we do not get the battle. How did they really manage to defeat him?
Yeah.
But what I will say,
Oh no,
this
but
episode
no, they
does
told
is
you how they
it
managed to
was-
defeat him. They told you, and they told you in this show how they managed to defeat him.
They commanded him
We
in the night.
sneaked in
But
when he was
I'm
sleeping.
going from the book.
Nah,
He
but
was
see, the problem is
powerful
that's
in
why
the book.
I would love to be going from the books. However, we're reviewing this pitch.
This
And
pitch,
the
yes,
books,
this pitch.
unfortunately, no matter how much I would love it, the books have got zero relevance to this shite. It's literally zero relevance.
But,
So no matter how much I would love it,
I'm coming from the angle. The first 3 episodes literally had me. I was tempted to just like take my computer monitor and just like chuck it out the window on my 3-story.
You mean
flat.
like I did with all my books?
I'm tempted to wonder how this would have gone down 10, 15 years if the world, if the situation, if the world was the sensitivities and all the rest of it and the political sense or whatever you're going to call it were the same as they were 15 years ago.
Yeah, do you know what the difference would
No,
have
no,
been?
no.
Instead of trying
I
to
would
make their
still give
Game of
this show a
Thrones,
thumbs
they would have been
down.
trying to make their Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. No, but what I mean is, I hadn't appreciated until actually I was watching something in passing on someone else's stream the other day. The dragon can only be reborn as a male.
Yes.
Now I hadn't but I thought, okay, so obviously they've changed that.
Yes.
What? No. They have. That has not been stated as a fact. Nobody seems to be aware of the fact. It may be that the dragon camp, we don't know, but they are certainly suggesting that it can be reborn as male or female.
Well,
Now,
they have said that, and in the past, they've also said in this that there has been false dragons, both male and female, in the past, which
is
makes
not
zero
true in the
sense.
book.
oh yeah,
Because the dragon is meant to either break the world or cure it. So if a woman is the dragon, then she's not being tainted. So how would she break? Surely she just needed to be trained by the White Tower.
Yeah, no,
What
I'm saying though is you could they've changed it. I mean, but the fact is that they were all false dragons, so it could be that any female who claims to be the dragon reborn is by definition false because it can only be a male. That would be a possible.
I agree with what you're saying, but unfortunately, they have said in this. Unfortunately, they have said in this the dragon can be male or female. They have said it in this, so that takes it out of that realm of it because
if I had the
physically
plot
said
point
in it.
here, men cannot touch the one source without at least suffering the taint, whether it's strongly or just a little bit. The male half of the source, the one power, no man can touch it without having to go through it, and it's described so eloquently in the book. If you're a man and you're trying to touch the source, and it's being described from the female perspective as well, but if you're a man, it feels like you're reaching into a well of power, but you have to go through a layer of oil. You're feeling the taint. Whereas it doesn't happen for the females. It's because Shaitan, the Dark One, whatever preferred name it is. And I'm surprised, and this is something I hate. Shaitan, we got the guy in a Halloween mask introduced, a little bit scary in dreams, but that's about it. No, Shaitan has a lot more presence.
Yes, but you look
He's
at
hunting for the dragon just as much as the Ice Dice are, but he can only move in the dream plane, so to speak.
but you look at Logain, right? When he's going mad, it's not Shaitan that's talking to him, and if it is, it's a woman's voice,
Hmm?
and there's also a man's voice. So does that mean Shaitan is both of them, or neither of them? It's
That,
that's the point.
that part did
This
not make
TV
sense.
show has got zero in common. If this, as Colin was saying, if they made this 15 years ago, they wouldn't be trying to subvert it into the Game of Thrones. They would be
Yeah.
trying to make it like they did the Lord of the Rings. Try and stick to as close to the books as possible. To me,
what-
if they wanted to do it properly, they should have just picked book 1 and made that season 1. Then that gives them the possibility of doing 13 seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we would have got none of this low budget crap.
That's another thing. The budget is so cheap, and you look at the fight sequence, not the beginning, even about the beginning fight sequence. You see two guys. That is it. So this is meant to be a battle, and you see two guys stand up till again. Then the big battle with the Aes Sedai in the forest. The army. How many guys was it? 20, 30?
Yeah.
That's really an army.
Yeah,
But,
And then
but,
even the
but,
it was
bits
a
but
where
for
raiding
me,
party.
the Aes
it's
Sedai
even
are
more
actually meant to
superficial
be,
than that.
but even the bits where the Aes Sedai are fighting, they're giving it hoot, and it's just poof, poof, and it just obfuscates basically what you can see. So in effect, they're doing cheap effects, so the fighting is not even fun. Did you see the archer? One of the two warders who is with the green. He's basically got a bow which has already got an arrow already knocked, and he's always walking around, and you see the arrows over there. Even if he fires it, he puts it up, and there's still an arrow in it. They've not even got the cheap. They've done it so cheap that so he could actually do that. But you'll watch it if you need to watch it again. Watch him. He's always got an arrow. It looks like there's always an arrow knocked. Even when he fires it, there's still an arrow there. It is literally done in the cheap. I saw pictures of L'Oreal, and it shows how cheap this pish is.
Oh, I'm gonna go out right now and say it. I have not managed to muster. Okay, I can blame the fact that I've been working the entire weekend. I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I literally logged off work 3 minutes after the stream started. It was the same yesterday. It was the same Friday. I was up until almost midnight. It's been hectic. But even if that was the case, that work wasn't getting in the way. I'm struggling to get energy to watch the 6th episode. It's like I just don't want to, because everything I've seen
that
so
shows you
far,
how
it's
bad it is.
low budget. You look at the environment, the background, everything. They're not even bothering putting in CGI. They found a grove with a little bit of like, oh, it looks like it's autumn season or something. Or you guys just walk from point A to point B, and we'll shoot some shots and we'll put that in. There is no magic building with it. I
Yep.
get no sense that I'm transported to another world. I
Yep.
mean,
And
I had a sense of being transported to another world watching The Last Starfighter. And all he did was being a Bumsville guy somewhere in America, and they had an arcade machine. But even that tiny little village, I cannot tell you how big it was. It could be 5 buildings or 50 buildings, but it felt this is community. There are
Yeah.
a lot of people living around here, and he's walking up to the petrol shop or whatever it is, putting a quarter in and playing the game.
And well, did you see the traveling people? They
Yeah,
made
the
them out to be
12
Amish. They made them out to be Amish.
But
So they did.
Amish with a slight hint of gypsy.
Yeah, but in effect, they made them out to be Amish because what did they say? Or when we reach 20, we leave the car.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And that, where did that come from? That is somebody just same again. They've just dumped it in there because, or they're non-violent and they're against violence. Who does that here? Well, the Amish. Let's make them
I,
Amish. Then they'll go into they don't do violence, and they have to travel into the world to see what they're missing.
I thought
Really?
I thought it was an interesting idea when I first heard that the Amish did that as well. I thought it's a really interesting idea that you do that. You say, okay, this is our way of life, but we understand it's not for everybody. We encourage our children to go and make sure it's right for them. But as you say, I mean, that was exactly what I thought. As soon as you said that, I thought they've nicked that from the Amish.
Yeah.
Not what an interesting idea.
It was never ever in the books.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Basically, the traveling people are just people who do it, and if people want to leave, they leave. And
Yeah.
they don't try and forcibly stop them. They basically just let them leave. But it's a case of they try and convince them to stay. But it's not a case of, right, you're 20 now, on you go. Go and see what you're missing. You might come back. Really? Yous are traveling people, so how are they going to come back to you?
Yeah.
Because you're traveling, you don't know where you're going to be. And it's traveling throughout the world. It's not as if you're going, right, we're going to the car park down by Glasgow Airport.
Yeah.
And the car park up here. So by the time we come round, that's our circuit. So we'll be somewhere there. You're traveling the world and you're meant to leave and come back. Really?
I tell you, they also put me in mind of was the in some ways I'm getting vibes of the river folk on Discworld. There's one or two of them where there's some group, and because I mean one of the things is like their word for diplomat is liar.
Yes, yeah, the Clatchin, the Clatchin,
No, I can't remember.
that's the ones that on the Rim world that basically they control the fence around the Rim.
No. These are literally they're travellers, but they're boat people. But they travel on their boats.
I recognise it, but I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I can't
is.
think where it's from because I think it's only from one of the books, but
It is.
But because I think it might be one of the early ones as well, because one of the characters travels with them for a while. But they put him on a
much
little
closer
Angus
to the traveling people.
Yeah, I think it's Rincewind that travels with them because he's the one that meets the people. So I know what one you're talking about because the part is the name for politician is liar.
Yeah.
I do recognise that.
But that's definitely a Pratchett.
But I'm saying is that the travellers they put me a little bit in mind of that as well. But I suppose that's because they've got the same wandering nomad lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, one thing I did know, and it was given and I was thinking this. I thought, and a couple of people said, well, I think we've known next year as well. Given the realities of a medieval life, of a medieval style civilization, the heroes are getting on a wee bit for newbies.
Yeah.
For newly generated characters, you want to put it in a role play. You said they are. If you're talking medieval, if you're talking, and I mean, I can only come at this from a fact of view of a history buff, and that they always seem to set other things come in, but the basic tech level always seems to be medieval. The basic lifestyle level seems to be pretty medieval. And by the time you're 2021, you probably are married with a kid.
Yeah, that's why in the books they're about 15, 16. They're just coming of age.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the whole Egwene story of the braid.
Yeah,
the braiding.
I mean, I said that made sense to me in a way. In that, what? No, I said that in the okay. She does, and by suddenly discovering that she can touch this power, it's changed her status, and she's no longer a wisdom. So I think a wee bit, but yeah, as you said, I mean, the fact that just means that she's an adult. So she's still an adult, so it doesn't actually make as much sense as I thought in the first place. She suddenly lets her hair down.
It's absolutely nuts because it's the fact that the agedom had to actually change so much about it, like Perrin having a wife, and Perrin killing his wife. So suddenly, did you even hear the part in the travelling people they were saying, "Have you picked up a weapon? And have you picked up a sword? To an axe?" And it's all because he looks at Egwene and she looks back and nods and turns away because he picked up an axe and killed his wife. However, the thing about an axe for Perrin in the books is completely different. Perrin is completely different.
He's absolutely different because in the book, Perrin has inherited this axe when he was younger as an apprentice because a cheapskate traveling soldier with one of the very few merchants that came to the village refused to pay it. And Master Luan just went, well, I built it, you can have it. And he's literally, since he was, 12, 13? Any
He basically
free
just
moment
says he found it
has,
and he was practicing, so he was giving it.
He's practicing. He knows how to swing it. He knows how to use it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So it's the fact is there. Perrin's always got his axe, and the axe is a defining point because people notice the battle axe and all that. In this, he killed his wife with an axe. That's why axes are important to him. And basically, it's a case of, well, Perrin's got an axe, and it's all to do with the struggle between the axe and the hammer throughout Perrin's story and all this. And they're saying, right, make it an axe, and he'll kill his wife, but so that way we don't need to give him an axe. Well, it's important to Perrin's story, so take it right out and just say he killed his wife with an axe. That's why an axe is important to him. And you're sitting there listening to it and going, piss off.
Yeah, what?
That's why I keep on saying this is nothing to do with the books. Somebody's taken the very, very. Do you know what they've been better doing?
They
Saying
would
this
have
was
to jump
inspired
in
by.
and go, this is so important to the character arc of Perrin, because even by the wolves, it's called, it's not Silver Fang or something, it's like Steel Fang, because he wields the axe. The wolves are literally...
No. You're thinking that's Elias. He's Steelfang because he's got the dagger. He's known as he's known as Bear.
But he gets
He's
a
known
similar
as
name because he has the
it's
axe.
basically it's Bear. Remember, he's known as Little Bear.
Little Bear, but he does still have the axe. But he learns to like embed with the wolves. But this is something, and I said to say this for you, Colin, that just as following the TV show, there's such an glorious story arc just building Perrin up. By the time where we are now, episode 4, he should be talking with wolves. They should not be strangers to him. They should not be danger to him. He should know that still a bit of distrust, but he should still be going, these are my friends.
Are we still on book 1?
We're still on book 1, literally chapter 5.
See, the problem is this pile of pish has got book 1, 2, and 3 all mixed in different areas, and it's back to front. There's bits in where it happens in book 3. They've put it in here. Book 1 parts are not even happened yet, and it's literally. That's why I keep on saying this is not the books. The closest they could get to it, if they could say, is it's inspired by the books, and then just make their own story up, because that's effectively what they did.
That's what I
and
think.
All they did was use characters. They could have made any other character's name, made it about any other, and they could have said this is an age gone past or an age still to come. It would have got away with it. But the fact that they're trying to stick with the character names, they would have been better off just saying it's based. It's not based on the books. It's inspired by the books, but we've taken it to a different age. And then there's no link apart from the fact is it's just another turning of the wheel.
And in fact,
it's not even that. None of the characters, although I will say, because I'm partial to this episode, Egwene, minimal as she has presence in this, I kind of grow on that because she actually feels like a likable character, whereas in the books, I didn't like the lady or the character of the lady until maybe halfway through book 3. She was arrogant, naive, didn't know what was going on in the world. This one is warm, passionate, compassionate. She's all of these things, which is why I think she'll be the dragon.
No,
I think selling her far too high.
See, in the books, I found Egwene to be naive, not naive, naive,
Anyway,
right? And just for the simple fact, because he was just someone who's just come out of her childhood to reach adulthood, so she didn't know, she'd never travelled, and all these things are happening. She was making her best in it based on what she had an idea of women
and what the
women
world is
could
and
do.
how bad boys
Whereas in
are and
this
all
one,
that stuff.
I find she's totally boring and arrogant. And it's like
Yes,
the whole thing is
for
her whole character
for
is
16
boring.
books, for 2.5 books, I just go, no, don't like
Yeah,
this character, but it starts to ramp up a little bit. But
see,
it's
it's the
so
opposite for me.
sporadic going through the next books.
So the opposite for me, because I took it that way. I liked Egwene because she was just someone who's coming out of childhood into adulthood,
That's
thrown into the world which she had never experienced before. She's suddenly not got even a mentor to guide her. It's her and parent, and then the two of them have to get their own way in the world to survive, and they meet other people, and she's still trying to actually be the future wisdom, because this is how Nynaeve would do it. So she was trying to do it that way. And this is how her mum would handle her dad. So she's trying to do it that way. So she's doing things that she's seen, but she has no really concept of how it would work. And that's
Yes.
why I
No,
like
no, no,
the
no.
character.
That she
In this
has
one,
the concept
she already
of
knows everything,
you
so she's
this
boring. And
position.
she was only there so Aram could actually give her the exposition of the traveling people and all the
I
fish
find
about the way of the leaf.
Aram in the TV show so boring.
I think the whole cast is boring.
No,
That's the
no, no, no,
problem.
no, no. His role, I think, is charming enough as like the character. If you just look at him, the way he presents dialogue and everything, just look at it. Don't care about the connectivity. He could be in Shakespeare or whatever it is.
No, but that's what I'm saying. And
He's
when I'm
still
watching this,
presenting quite charismatic. But what they completely cut out is in the books, Aram is very charming, even flirtatious, almost possibly persuading Egwene to join the people
yeah.
of the leaf, the way of the leaf.
But the
here,
problem is,
I don't
I
think that's what
see
he
no
wants to
reason
persuade
why
Egwene
she
to do.
would.
sorry, Colin, what was that?
I said I don't think that's quite what he wants to
Of
persuade
course not.
Egwene to
It
do.
basically is just what you better, because they're adults,
Exactly.
so they can eventually shoot you will, and you can
And
guarantee it.
I'm taking this. I'm taking this. This is the only traveller who's actually Irish. I take it the character we're talking about. The
Yeah.
only one of the
You
dozens of
pick up on
travellers
the
we've seen
Irish
who's
too.
actually Irish.
Right. But
So he's
see the
actually an Irish
problem.
traveller.
See the problem with this, right? I
Spot different
cannot
facial
link it
features.
to the books at all,
Mm.
because apart from the names of the characters, there is zero in common. That's why that's why even the third episode, it was a case of, well, I watched it. It wasn't as bad as the time before, but it wasn't even interesting. This time, I was watching it and I could have literally drifted off. It was boring. There was nothing. Even the wee girl who with the, hey, my dolly, that you're meant to be interested in me now because something's going to happen and you're going to be
Yeah.
devastated. She got killed, big deal.
So
It's
that,
like they're implying it was Matrim that did it, but there was a fade there, so. And it's a case of, I don't care. And that's bad for a program that they're trying to get you to care. You just don't give a toss. The part where the Logain got the axe and it exploded and people were dying and the cuts to the neck, I'm sitting there thinking, oh God, please finish now. This could be the end of the season. And they killed all the
I
characters
was
off.
so
That would be
angry. That
fantastic.
could have been the end of it. Cut.
And I was hoping
Everybody
for it.
dies.
When you've got their main characters and I'll give you an example. Everybody kept telling me Breaking Bad. Watch the first season, but it gets better. Watch the second season, but it gets better. Watch the third, but it gets better. I've watched the end of it. See by the end of it where they're all getting killed. I was glad as hell it was over. I wasn't invested in any one single character in that TV show, and I was glad when it was over. And the fact that they all got killed, I went, yes, they're all dead. Maybe they'll know. At least that means they're not going to have another season. And that's bad for a TV show.
Mm.
If you've got
Yeah.
a TV show where every one
No,
of the
no, no,
characters
no,
if they die,
no,
you go,
you-
yes, maybe they'll get rid of them.
You'll
That is
have to
bad.
be more specific here, PJ.
Everyone,
It's bad
every
for a
single
TV
one.
show overall, and we all, I'm guessing here, but we all like everybody to die at the last episode of season 4 in Babylon 5. But here, you're in the first season, you're trying to introduce the characters, and all you literal ones like, if you die, I could not care.
That's the
I
point.
don't
See,
care.
see in Babylon 5, see if Jakar had died in episode, well, he was a side character in the first season.
Yeah, but
Right,
Jakar
so
is an amazing character.
even in the third season, you had Garibaldi and he had died. That would have been a loss. And after 3 episodes, you would have felt that loss because his character was dragged. In this, any character dies, I'm just going to go, I don't care. If they'll ever die, they are so uninteresting that I'm struggling to get through watching the episodes. Episode 4, the fact that they all died, I just went, oh, maybe it'll finish. I know it's not going to, but maybe they'll just kill them all off. Yep.
But- but-
And then the one power heals them, and what happens? It leaves a scar. Really? The one power leaves a scar. The fact is, Logain healed that guy who had the slash. But you notice he healed the slash, but he didn't heal the cutting above his eye. When you
exactly.
heal the one
He
power,
killed the
it
big
heals your
wound in the
body.
shoulder, but it was still stuck there on the face.
That's what I'm saying. So basically, cleaned all that up, but he still had the cut above his eye. The one power's meant to do that, but it also left a scar. The one power not meant to leave a scar.
Well, I kind of thought that what it was doing was effectively rapid healing,
Well, in
which
effect,
of course,
the one
which of
power
course
does that.
would leave
But
a
it is-
scar.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you know,
it also-
if the way it works is he says, okay, it's magic, so forget the fact of blood loss and energy required. It basically, it effectively speeds up time in that area, and the scar here, and a wound heals. A wound that seals would leave a scar. That I can understand, but if you're saying the idea is it just completely does away with it, that's a different thing entirely.
Yeah, but you see that's the thing. Whoever said right, there's magic that does healing. I think they've went to a Dungeons and Dragons book and says how does healing work in Dungeons and Dragons? Because the one power, what it does is use the one
dare
power to
you?
mend your
How
body.
dare you? None of these writers have ever opened up any. I don't care if it's Dungeons and Dragons 5.e or whatever it's called. They never opened one of these
But
whatsoever.
that's somebody's understanding is tell me how magic heals. And somebody said, well, in Dungeons and Dragons it happens like this. And that's what they've done. But it's not. The one power is meant to do is uses the power of spirit, fire, and water. The spirit to help mend, fire and water to help bend, because the fire's there for the healing, but the water's there because your body's mostly made out of water. It's even mentioned in the books that Egwene doesn't understand why water is involved in it. She can understand why spirit and fire is involved because it's literally doing the healing, and they don't know what. But in effect, a wound healed by the one power is in effect it heals it as if it never happened, because it's literally it's using the power to bind and heal it again. So leaving scars is unusual. That's why Rand, when he's got the scar that the Aes Sedai cannot heal, is so unusual.
But exactly, and this is where the book really has this. It established, and I believe it was Shadiversity that had this, the hard versus soft magic.
I only watched the
Yeah.
Shadiversities because I didn't like the way he was
Yeah, I
designed,
know
so-
you only watch the bad versions.
No, but I just
No.
read
But
the review.
I do mean he's describing the levels, and if you're really putting in the healing power, sorry, you're gonna have a massive scar for the rest of your life. Well, if you put the bandage around it and you kept it clean and healed me, I'd have the same thing. There's no reason for you to heal me in 5 minutes, or it'll take me a couple of weeks to recover. Which is where I find scars, when you've been healed by magic, so dumb.
Yeah, I mean, if the idea is it just regrows everything or it either takes you back so that never happened, or it regrows everything, then it should regrow everything, as you say, no scars.
No, it doesn't
Exactly. And in
regrow. So if you got a
medical
severed
terms,
finger,
the
it would
reason you
heal.
get the scar is because the wound that you had was open, or not open, it was active for so long that the whatever it is, the white blood cells or whatever it is that really do the repairing mechanism, they did not have enough time to really rebuild all the connectivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get
And
the scar because the wound was open for too
Yeah.
long.
And the thing is, with the 1 power, is if you got your finger cut off, it wouldn't regrow a finger. It would just heal the cut over the top as if there's no scar. So there wouldn't be like a
Alright.
stitch scar where it was sewed up. It would literally just be like the top of your finger. There would be no scar. It would just be a finger gone. So that it
Alright.
wouldn't regrow anything. It's just basically knitting the skin all back together invisibly. It's basically
Got ya.
that's what it's doing. It's just knitting all your the flesh back together. So if you've lost your hand, it's not going to regrow a hand.
You basically have this.
But in effect, yeah. Although you forgot to
So,
cut your.
so Dave
forgot to
Allen was
cut-
healed by the 1 power then.
See again?
Dave Allen was healed by the 1 power then.
Yes, in effect, yes. But that's the thing is, right, you've got Dave Allen, right? So you could look at that and there would be a slight scar where it was all sewn together to let it heal. However, if it was healed by the 1 power, it would be smooth as if it was you were looking at the top of your thumb, just skin. There would be no cut where that you would have seen where they had literally sewn the skin together. That's the thing. Because I've got a scar on that hand there. I don't know if you can just see it, right? But it's no major scar, but it's just a scar where you can see where the stitches were in. And it's that type of thing. Whereas if it was healed by the 1 power, it would look exactly the same as that. It would look as if there's never been a cut.
Exactly. The 1 power would heal you in an hour, whereas what's required for you to get the scar is you had the injury, the sutures, the stitching. You've had it for a couple of weeks. It's enough to leave those imprints.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's just one aspect of it. With the leaving a scar was stupid, but also the fact is, even the fact that you could see them when they're inconsistent with their casting. You look at it, right? There's the part where they're giving all the hand gestures for doing it, even if it's something quite small. And then there's other times when they're just doing that and they go, there's no hand gestures, nothing, but you see the stream, the spirit or their interpretation of magic.
I can understand why they do the hand gestures and that, because it's a visual medium and they want something.
But the
that
problem
looks
is,
impressive.
they have got a visual medium because the way they've actually shown the power, which I
Yeah.
thought was a very good idea. They could show the different things in different colours, so they could have spirit and white, you could have flame, and you could have earth and brown, you could have, I mean, so you could have 5 different colours and also the 6th colour to show the taint, the way so they've got a visual way of doing that. They could just stand there and it could all be making the bits and pieces, the axes and stuff like that, without having to actually give it all this. Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, this look to me is like it's almost watching an old martial arts movie where 2 guys are spinning up together.
Yeah.
Really? And then they go, "Whoa!" And they basically they do the palm, the Buddhist palm system, and they have to give it all the wind up and do that before the guy gets thrown 3 miles back, and you're sitting there thinking, Ace of Eyes have been watching them. That's basically what they've done. They've literally watched. This is how you all wind it all up, ready to go, and it's a case of it really annoys me for that. But the problem is, this episode didn't annoy me. Didn't do anything. I was watching it and literally see when I finished it, I had zero. If basically you could see the beep beep beep, it wouldn't have actually gone up or down. It would have been nothing. It was literally I felt nothing as I watched this. I didn't feel, oh, that wee girl gets killed. That's sad. Or, oh, there's a fade. Oh, I'm scared. No, It was just all
They-
mediocre and boring.
they-
One of the
they-
best parts where Tom Merlin is helping Rand and Matt. He's there from the very beginning of the first book. So he is. And he basically, because they get a bit, why are you helping? Because Matt's got the dagger from Shadow Logoth. They start to get a bit paranoid. And he basically comes out with, why are you helping us? And then he tells the story about his nephew, Owen. In this one, he tells you that just before the Fade attack, whereas there is a long time between the start of the book, them getting separated, traveling with Tom, and him telling the story before they hit Whitebridge, where they meet the Fade, and Tom starts using his daggers, and they think he's killed because nobody can beat a Fade, but Tom seems to be able to do it.
No, this is what so frustrates me about this episode. Even though I will say, standalone, if this was the first I came into, getting introduced to the characters, what's going on and everything, I will say, despite having seen them, this is getting close, but by this time, Matt should be literally, he should be hissing at a leaf falling on the ground. He should be so paranoid and so consumed by the fact that he stole the dagger from Shadow Logo. He should be going like, I'm going to kill everybody. He should be that level, but you see
Not that
no
he stole
impact. You see no effect on him whatsoever.
Oh, you do? You see the lips going all black?
Yeah.
And that's
No,
and
no,
the
no, no,
cheek
no, no,
all
no.
black.
That's only in that sequence.
Yeah.
No,
But
but
that
even when
sequence
he,
is irrelevant to the overall. He should
no, but
already
when
be
they
dark,
go in,
like deep shadow eyes.
but in that sequence in this show, I know I can refer back to what the book is, but unfortunately, this TV show's got zero to do with the books. In this show, they showed it twice. One when he was puking up and it all suddenly disappeared inside his mouth again. And then the
Yep.
second time is when they went hunt for him and he was standing with his dagger and amidst all the dead bodies and near it behind him and it shows you him and it all creeps back into his mouth. So they show it twice.
you see, I'm not approving of that whatsoever.
But that's what
It's
they're doing.
it's
That's they're
not.
showing that he's got something. They don't explain what it is
It's
because you know from the TV, from the books, it's because he's got the dagger from Shadow Logo. But this one,
Unfortunately, we tainted you on this one, Colin. But could you tell at that point when they come up to the village, where, sorry, not village, the farmstead, and they're going, oh, we're gonna sneak in, we're gonna sleep in this barn, wait until dark. Can you tell that he is sick by this point? Because
no.
I can't.
Well, the thing is, not only that, but from what I remember, when he finds the dagger, he didn't steal. It didn't come across as stealing. It came across as he found it, almost
Exactly.
as if. I mean, I thought this was why I thought that's why I thought the dagger had started. I almost got the impression that he'd been given the dagger. That something, not that he'd stolen it from somewhere, but they'd actually been led to it somehow.
But that's the thing in the book. In the book,
More than
it's different. But in
Yeah.
this, he was led because he was sleeping and he sort of heard something. He went wandering
Yeah.
and he found
Yeah.
the box. So
he
yes,
found the
something
box,
led
yeah.
him to the dagger. But the problem is, there's no context to it.
No.
And the thing is, with the context in this thing, they don't show you. They just sort of somebody will turn around and say, "Yes, this happened." Right?
Well,
Really, is that the context of what happened? Somebody tells you a one-line thing.
Having said that, the black goo or whatever the hell it was did certainly serve to tie back, and I thought because that's when I made I put a note down there about that answers my question about the dagger then, because
no,
it connects
really
that.
doesn't.
You know, I quite agree with that. The way they did that and the way
Yeah.
they did the fog thing instead of mist.
They
and Shadow
didn't do
Logo,
the
it
fog. They
does
didn't
link the
do the
both.
mist.
Yes,
No,
but
no.
in the book, in the TV show, you cannot refer back to the book. That's I keep telling you. You cannot. In the TV show, it wasn't a mist. It was some type of creeping fungus thing. In
Yeah.
this, the link between the dagger and him having that fungus thing climbing into his mouth is definitely linked to Shadar Logoth. You
Yeah.
cannot compare them. That no matter how much I want to, you just cannot. That's like us going on to talk about Christmas, and then suddenly we're talking about Halloween movies. The two of them are not related. You cannot actually say we'll talk about Home Alone 2, and then as soon as we come on, you're comparing Home Alone 2 to Briscoe County Junior. Irrelevant. Two of them are
Okay.
completely different.
I will concede on that level, and I will concede that they didn't try to tie them together, because, but not even in the book, the mist is never really mentioned again, but it is the fact that he's carrying this evil item from a town that blocked themselves off from the entire world, and some evil kind of consumed them. He brought an item out from that. This is book, by the way. And because he's carrying this with him, it's consuming him. He's technically becoming Darth Vader. If I'm gonna do a modern comparison, he's becoming more evil. It's just like weighing down, it's oppressing on him.
I think I've just worked out one program that the writer, whoever wrote that, did used to watch. The X-Files. It's the black oil from the X-Files.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? It goes into people.
That I see. That I see.
I remember that one, but you know, it actually reminded me more of somebody watched the was it The Day After Tomorrow? The ice chasing you up the corridors. That's what somebody's actually watched. Oh look, there's ice chasing us up the corridors. We need to run as fast away from that ice as it's chasing us up the corridors. That's, to me, somebody said, right, this is how ice works. So we'll need this creeping fungus to do chase you up corridors.
It is the scene you're describing. I like it, but that's not how physics work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other one is, okay, you're trying to tie a couple of themes together. But again, it's literally, we're talking about children. Haven't read the material. They got told, oh, you stole a dagger from a bad place. Now you're going to kill children. And that's literally how fast this episode's moving. I will say this episode is still, and I will defend this episode, not the TV show. And even though I'm defending this episode, it's at best a 3 out of 10. No, for me, it's a 3 out of 10.
Yeah. To me, your 3 is basically telling it is.
Awesome!
Because to me,
no, you said it was awesome.
No, that's what I said. Your 3 is effectively telling them it is.
Awesome!
Me.
No, again, you're going awesome. Am I wrong here, Colin? He was going, it's awesome.
No, it is basically your 3 is an awesome comparison to me. This was so boring. I wouldn't even give it a mark. To me, it's a duck egg nothing. I can't even actually give it a negative number. It is literally.
I'm coming to. I see what you said. What you said, I think, a couple of times before we mentioned. The other thing that gets me is they don't seem to be very good at actually explaining how much time has passed, because you've got
Nynaeve, yep.
Nynaeve comes along, she tracks these guys down. She's still really pissed off at the White Tower and all the rest of it. You know, she thinks that you know, she spends one night chattering to the is it Guardians? No, warders, to the warders. Half of them get dragged off for some, presumably for
basically the women came and dragged them off for sex, because obviously a man can't come in and drag the women off for sex. It's the women coming in and dragging the men off for sex.
I thought that actually surprised. Okay, well I thought, well, at least that means they're not all man-hating lesbians. That's one good thing. But then she's done this, and then suddenly from distrust and dislike, she's now so horny. She now feels so much for Rand that when he gets his throat cut, she goes completely fucking apeshit and touches the power of the well.
Aye, but not only heals Lan, she heals everybody in the room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, only but the implication is she does it because Rand is going to die.
Lan,
okay, fine.
not Rand.
Sorry, Lan. Whichever one of the two it is.
Rand's the boy. Lan is Lan Mandragon.
The samurai is going to die.
Yeah. Basically, that's the best description.
Samurai is a good description.
She's suddenly gone to that point of distrust and hatred in half an hour of talking to the guy a couple of times, having had the Red Witch come up and fight again. They point, okay, well maybe this woman's not all there, and she suddenly got to the point where she feels so much for this guy that the fact that he's going to die forces her to break out. It forces her to
see in the books, Colin. In the books, there's a love interest because
I'll start it slower. Obviously, sadly, we're giving some spoilers, but initially it isn't love interest, but she's meeting a man because they do have a little bit that they do portray in the show, which is this: oh, men are bad, throw them out. They don't know what you're doing. She's coming from that background. But Lan is literally, even the first night he's coming into the village, which is a couple of nights before the actual attack happens, they get a little bit, she kind of doesn't know where he is. So he becomes a mystery for her. She becomes interested because she's just used to telling men to like, go throw yourself off a bridge.
Yep.
Like he would not do that.
But he's missed one thing. Lan and Nynaeve are the new Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia.
I didn't never want to go there, but yeah.
Yeah, did you not hear what she said? So she spoke in the old tongue, and he said to her, "Do you want to know what was said?" Right? And he explained when she said, he says about leaving the children here to go out and protect the land. He says, like that's what my family always said to me. He's the last Lord of Malkia. What does that imply about her? Her family were Lords of Malkia or the King and Queen of Malkia. So she's not just a foundling. She was left there by royal blood from Malkia.
I see what you mean.
Lan,
So
Lan is the last family were the ruling family, and what she said that her parents said to her, he said, that's what my parents said to me. Implying the two of them are related. So it's not going to be a love interest. It is going to be, that's my big brother, and I have to protect him.
Okay. But no, okay.
So in the book, there was a love interest. In this, they don't want that because he can be a strong man, but it's his mum. It's his.
Well, the other thing is that the implication, of course, also is that he'd be bonking Moraine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can understand. They've said it's very, they've said this relationship is very close, and I can accept that the nature of that relationship may be sexual as well. I can understand. I can understand and accept that. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
What I think is going to be interesting, and we're going to have to go shortly, guys. What I think is going to be interesting, especially after the ridiculous awakening, whatever you call it, of Nynaeve, are they over the next few episodes going to have each of the 5 major characters have a similar suggested moment where it suggests that they've obviously got some sort of power as well? Of course. Because she's a woman, and we've already established that she and Egwene,
Egwene, yep.
Egwene will
one out of 2 of the 5.
should should be able to touch the power without being corrupted. So that's fine.
Yep.
But are they actually going to build? I mean, it'd be interesting if in 2 or 3 seasons' time we finally find out which one is the Dragon Reborn, and how that's how much people going, oh, it's going to be the woman. It's always going to be the woman. How if they actually have the cop on to go back and actually make it one of the lads?
Well, the fact
That's
that they've already had
of course.
Rand having his visions with all of them and seeing Shaitan, they've done that one, but in effect, then they found Matt standing all over the bodies. It's almost, but to me, they will do the same with Egwene. Yeah, I can guarantee in episode 5, Egwene will have her big, I need help, but I help myself. And not only do I help myself, I either help the travelling people in Perrin, who's also in danger. You can guarantee in episode 5. Episode 6, would they do that with Perrin? Nah. Would they do it with Rand? Nah. Would they do it with Matt? No
all
chance.
I can say is
none of
I've
the
seen.
three are going to actually have that big saving other people moment.
I've seen
Nynaeve
episode
has
5.
had saved, but I'm saying Nynaeve has done the saved the man trope. Egwene's going to have the save the man trope, so it's either going to be Aram or Perrin she's going to save. But is Matt, Rand, or Perrin going to have the same trope? Not in your life. Not in your life.
It's not a spoiler alert, but gentlemen, please have your heart infarct medication ready.
See,
whether or not you've read the book or just watching it for the first time, have your heart medicine ready, because the next one is an absolute face bump. Which is why I'm actually saying, for me going, this is a fantasy episode. It has good elements, but it is going out strong, but quickly falling. But trust me, the next one isn't falling. It's just going.
Yeah, but the unfortunate thing is, I got really mad about the first.
No, you're not ready.
The second episode,
episode 5
the second episode, I got through it and I was just annoyed. The third episode, I get through it and I thought, fourth episode.
No. I'm with you on that level.
It's just
episode 5 is going to require hot medicine.
The problem is, I've got zero interest in any of these characters, and they're so forgettable. Even no matter what they do from now on, I don't even think it will. I'll even go.
I'm seriously looking forward.
We'll see.
To you swallowing everything you're saying right now, and I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just how bad it is.
But the problem is, I can't imagine it being any worse than the first one. And since then, it's just been downhill to the point.
I'm happy you have imagination left.
Oh, it can always get worse.
Hey, do you know the imagination I've got left? Do you know what I've been doing to detox? I've been watching this. Chuck.
Oh, but no, that's a good spy TV show. That is a good spy TV show. It's silly, but it is good.
It is, and you've got Adam Baldwin in it, who's great. Jane from Firefly.
Yeah. I love the introduction, because here you actually have character building.
Yes.
So he and him, the evil spies, they're literally moving in opposite across to where Chuck is living. So they're each living on the opposite side of the courtyard.
Season 2. That's later on. This one, they're just basically.
But it's great chemistry. You have an understanding why each of them are there. You don't have in this bastardization. And
I'm telling
I don't like using swear words, but I will. But I'm still trying to keep.
That's not. There's no such thing as a swear word strong enough to describe this program. I
wish I had a button I could press down. And it would just
so you gave it a 3. Colin, what would you give this one as the non-book reader?
I don't know. I don't. I don't know. Maybe I like the 4. I think maybe because I'm seeing some things there that are tying back and are picking up things. As I said, I mean the black oil goo,
Yeah.
whatever it
And
was, for
I did notice
example,
that. I quite agreed with that
tied
one.
back, and it did
It-
actually. So for the world they're setting up there, I'm going to be interested to see what they do with the other characters. How many if any of the other characters have that really big, as you say, that really something shocks them into using a moment, or just
Yeah.
comes out. But
Well,
we'll
my
just have to wait and
prediction
see.
for that is they're going to do it for 9 Eve next. Then that'll leave that'll be episode 5 for 9 Eve. So 6, 7, and 8 would leave it one for each of the boys. And is it going to happen for one of each of the boys? No. The nearest you'll get is the dream sequence that Ran had. You'll see Shaitan, and that's it. So that's his. He's had his. So Nynaeve and Rand had theirs.
I think
Now
all I can
it's
say is
going to be that. That's what my prediction is for the next couple of episodes.
I think if I get through season 5, to episode 5, I've probably got further with this than I got with Foundation.
Well, the thing is, I for the very first time put a comment on Friday Night Tights,
Yeah,
and it never got read. And even in the square up, I didn't hear it.
was
And
it?
it was effectively saying, I feel sorry for Az for his. How can he put up with Batwoman? Because after watching 3 episodes of this at the time, my brain is leaking out of my ear.
I'm essentially feeling that I'm still drafting a script because I promised to do something on my own channel. And yeah, you can show my intro clip because I know it's just you, me, and Colin really watching this at the moment. But
Yeah, right, where's the intro clip? It's not
Guys,
actually on
I'm
this
going to have to drop off because I'm going to be back on again in about a quarter, and I need to go get a
No
cup of
problem,
coffee.
Colin.
yeah, you should be able to watch this intro clip.
Yeah.
This is basically how I'm intending.
Well,
to
I subbed to you earlier on today when you got kicked up in my feed, so I should check that at some point.
Yeah.
Well,
It
I
should be
might
on
just
yours.
join you
Put your
later
intro
on
on yours.
I'm
Yep.
fairly tired.
Yeah.
I think you put your intro on yours, didn't you, Jim? So if you've subscribed to Jim, you'll see his intro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I should pick that one up.
It's a really good one.
I shall see you guys. What's the watch on Wednesday?
We've not decided.
Okay.
Now, Wednesday will be a little bit of a free-for-all, but we're thinking or playing with the idea of playing Lethal Weapon 1.
Yeah. That's
Because
the
it has
initial one. Lethal Weapon.
Christmas-ish.
Okay, guys. Well, I'll see you on.
We'll go with that. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
We're probably going to be doing Christmas Carol in a little bit on FFSI. I think that's what we're going to be talking about, the various versions of that, because apparently there have been a very large number of versions of that, including film, stage plays, and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't see you guys, I should probably see you during the week.
Definitely, I'll be popping over once we're finished to actually check yours.
Thanks for having us on, guys. Anyway, and we'll have to see. We'll have to see what episode 5 brings, won't we?
Have your hard medication ready.
Where's my bourbon? Where's my Jack Daniel?
No. I do mean it literally cost me £100 because I got so upset.
Yeah, see, the thing is, no matter what, I can't see this even actually
No spoilers. Cost me £100. I dare you to have something more expensive.
Well, I've got all my kit and my equipment, but yeah, I can't imagine it. Thanks, Colin, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
I know we actually sidetracked and we were gabbing. Benji,
I will say this has been my highlight of the week. Obviously, it's been a hard work week because I worked 7 days straight. I got another 5 days, and then I got holidays starting, hopefully. But I'm literally working 12 days straight.
well,
I rewatched this episode just to kind of like get into it. But it was literally, I watched 20 seconds here, 20 seconds there, 20 seconds here, just to like remember what was going on about it.
yeah.
In terms, if you take all the 4 episodes and stand them side by side, which of all of these episodes could you gets even close to the books.
Nothing.
This
None of them.
one starts out really strong because you have the Lugain and him persuading the king. You should be on my side. These women should join me. I could either break the world or save the world. This is the first time you actually get an idea of what the dragon is. From TV series, forget the books, from TV series, this is the first time you get there is something here. There is something more at play behind it. Sadly, once you get rid of that initial sequence, it just goes.
But the problem is that initial sequence started down here and it just got lower. So even that initial
Exactly,
sequence,
but still,
but even that initial sequence started so low, it made zero difference because there was zero expectations. So
but
even
that's why
it
I'm
being
saying
so low,
stand alone. Stand alone.
You cannot. That's the problem. You cannot take a TV series episode as a standalone. If it was movies, you could do one of the movies as a standalone because movies you can take them individually, but you can't take an episode out of a TV series and say, as a standalone, this one works where the other ones don't, because it's a TV series.
But
Episode
that
4,
is
if
why I'm
episode
giving
4
you
was
the
the only
warning.
episode you were
Have your
doing,
heart medication ready for the next one.
see, I can understand where you're getting at, but you keep forgetting. This is so boring. The only medication I would need is an upper, not a downer, an upper to keep me awake. Literally, I would need to actually take something that keeps me active rather than something that actually calms me down. Because
I
this
will
gave
say
me
I'm
zero.
looking forward to our discussion on that.
Yep, looking
But
forward to next Sunday.
as my friend, I sincerely want you to not watch this. Please
The
don't
problem
watch
is,
this episode.
I didn't want to watch this after I saw the first minute of episode 1. After I heard the diatribe that came out in episode 1, after under a minute, I didn't want to watch this again.
Yeah, but why do you
Because I
think
said I
I'm
was
warning
going
you
to,
now?
but because I said I was going to cover the first season, that's why I said, as how the hell can he do Batwoman? He's on what, season 3 of Batwoman? If it is as bad as this program, my ears, my ears watching this.
I mean, I love myself a good ass rant. That sounds really bad.
Yeah,
When
it
you
sounds
say
a lot
it in
worse.
English,
But
but
it's just unfortunate.
when he does his
Friday
rants,
Night
when
Tights,
he
I did not hear
explodes.
unfortunately, Friday Night Tights, I didn't hear my StreamYard donation.
No.
Which is basically, if I don't hear my StreamYard donation, I'm very unlikely to ever do it again.
I have a feeling they'll do it on the catch up or
I watched the
I know
catch up.
as really does that. The same with the critical drinker. It's like
It was
too
on
many.
Friday Night Tights, so it would have been on Friday Night Tights' catch up, and I caught that as well. Didn't pick it up, unless I missed it. But it's
But
8
I
watch another
I love
5.5
my
hours.
Friday Night Times, but
Well, Friday Night
I
Tights,
don't ever put the comment in the channel because I see it's like 6,500 people
yeah, but I
watching
put
this.
it was a StreamYard comment, so it was almost a
Oh.
6-hour stream, and then he had a 2-hour catch up. So I'm not going to watch another 8 hours just to see. So
I will, because my weekend got destroyed by work, and I know my company will go, okay, we're fine. Don't work Friday, stuff like that. They will give me a couple of hours back just because I did stand in for the weekend when I wasn't supposed to.
yeah. But it's
So I
just
will have the
unfortunate
time. But
because
if I do see your comment, again, you said it's
if you
six
hear
and a
my
half hours.
comment, give us the time frame and the thing, and I'll go back and watch it. But it's
Yeah.
just one of those things. I put it in the very first time, and it never got read. So I thought, bugger. But I'm
again,
basically,
to-
I'll probably listen to a bit of it tonight when I'm actually not getting things ready for work for tomorrow, so I can put it on my phone and it'll be easier to listen to as I'm going around the house and doing bits and bobs because I'm in
Yeah.
on my toilet tonight. So,
but I'll bring it back a little bit to this one. I think this is the first time we're really starting to align. Even though I say this episode, TV episode, by the way, for anyone that will ever like clip this for Twitter, whatever, this TV episode did start out closer to the book than anything before it had ever done. But it fell so extremely quickly because Lugane is not this big in the book. Lugane is essentially a false dragon being transported through Camelin to Tarvalon, doesn't do anything dangerous, and he doesn't have 2 Aes Sedai. I believe it's 7 Aes Sedai linked
It's
together.
7.
Yeah, it's 7, and they have him completely locked down. He cannot do anything, even at his best days and the Aes Sedai's worst day. He wouldn't even be able to sneeze if he wanted to. They have him so locked down.
And
Which
the
is
thing
where I
is, they've
find-
got an army with them, not just a couple of orders. That's the whole thing. It's just basic. That's what I'm saying. It is nothing to do with the books. The books
Nothing
have
to
been
do with the
ripped up
books,
and thrown out the window.
but this is where I'm trying to be the nicest I can to the TV show. And I say nicest as I can. I still hate their guts for the bastardization they've done of the source material, but this is the closest they've ever come to touch any book material, any source material at
See,
all whatsoever.
I know what you're saying, but I still can't see it at all. The problem is, I can't see anything from the books. The nearest I can get to the books is they've used names of characters, end of story. They've used names of locations, end of story. Nothing makes.
This is why I'm warning you for the next episode, and you're going, I'll be fine. And I'm just going, no, you'll be fine. It will be like blood arteries spilling out everywhere. No,
See,
you will not be fine.
If you're talking about the second episode after the first episode, I could understand it. But considering my interest in this is every single episode has been getting less and less. I was watching this and I didn't even blink once when need to die. This is going to happen. It's
And
that.
you just say that, but you're just walking a mellow level. It's just like, I cannot care. They destroyed my entire childhood, all the books I love to read. Trust me, this is the first time I've really found something I have really just, as I said, I have not had the energy to watch the next episode, episode 6. It's been out for 3 days now. I just can't muster the energy to watch it because how bad I felt after episode 5. I don't know if I can actually continue. There is 3 more episodes. I don't know if I can continue.
See, the problem is, I know I'm going to continue just for the simple fact, as I said I would. If it wasn't for that, I would have stopped after the first minute of the first episode.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have put myself through watching this pile of junk. It is nothing more than a kid's drawing of the Mona Lisa.
Very accurate description. But
That's exactly what it is. So it is.
Still, I have a feeling my warning is not coming across because trust me, I destroyed equipment worth
I
100
understand where your
quid
warning is
when
coming
I
from.
saw the
The
stuff.
problem is, I would need to even have a bit of interest left in this to even.
No, I have no interest left, and they still managed to just nuke me from the orbit. They really managed to destroy.
We'll definitely give it a go. So you've got a 3, a 4, and a 0 out of 10.
Mind you, for me, will I ever watch this again? Is a 6.0, and I gave this one a 3. Never watch it again.
See, the problem is,
was it better than other not good stuff?
See, I gave it a 0 for one simple fact. Not only will I never watch it again, I'll never think about it again. It's not, it's literally, it was after I had to watch it. I'm glad I watched it just before we came online. Otherwise, I would have forgotten everything about it. If I watched this yesterday or this morning, literally, it would have been unforgettable. It would have been unforgettable because I just can't even remember what I'd watched. So it's not even a case of I'll remember everything. I just can't even remember about it because it was so fucking awful.
I will reread the books, but not next year, not the year after that,
Well,
maybe a couple
all
of
I
years
can say
down the
is
line.
if anybody's interested in the Wheel of Time, avoid this TV show at all costs. And if you're going to get the books, get the physical copy. If you're going for Audible, get the
Don't.
old Audible. Do not
No,
get the
you
one
can't
read
get
by the same
audibles
person.
with the originals anymore,
Yeah, you
apparently.
have to get the original Audibles. Do not
Yeah.
get the redone with Rose, whatever her name is. I just don't even care enough. Something run. Or,
So the original audiobooks for anyone watching, it's read by a man and a woman, and
Mhm.
they play perfectly in tandem, and both of them have good, mom telling you night story kind of voice.
Yeah,
They have that kind of level. It's not like grating or anything like that. Both of them are really good at this soothing, calm. And when there's stress in the story, they manage to play stress. They manage to play urgency. They manage to do all of that.
yeah,
But if you buy it after, well, it's likely Audible in 2022, you will only get the producer of this TV show reading the audiobooks. You will not
yeah.
find the old
We
ones.
do. So let's see. Try that again. I'm actually trying to
But
find
yeah,
out.
this is even though I'm giving it a 3, it's still distressing for me. I read these books in the 90s. I
Right.
loved them. It was so fantastic. Amazing story arcs, character building. And even though some of the characters you didn't like
Right.
them from the beginning, they got an arc where you go,
Right. Do you
hang
want to
on, I
hear
actually like them.
Audible? Right. I'm on the Audible website.
Yeah.
Most of these are in mines, which I'm glad the early ones aren't. Eye of the World, read, narrated by Rosamund Pike. So there
No,
is no
no,
old
no.
version.
Rosamund
No,
Pike is executive
there is no
producer of
old
this crap.
version, or you cannot get the old version.
Yeah.
The other one, Eye of the World, is read by Kate Redding and Michael Kramer.
Yeah, they are the
And,
good ones.
oh, tell a lie. There is, sorry, the Eye of the World, there's both. One is the old one, which is 29 hours, 57 minutes, narrated by Kate Redding and Michael Kramer. However, the new one, Eye of the World, narrated by Rosamund Pike, is 32 hours, 55 minutes. So it's got almost an extra 3 hours added on.
Oh, they're definitely adding nonsense into it then.
Of course. So basically, they're actually already, that is them already stating that they're already editing for that. So
Pardon my
I've got,
language, but this is a massive FU to
exactly.
blind
Because
people that
if
needs
the
audiobooks.
original one by Robert Jordan is 29 hours, 57 minutes for one book, and theirs is now 32 hours, 55. So it's 2 minutes less than 3 hours added to it, which
They're
means,
definitely editing and editing
yeah,
nonsense because
which means
Rosamund
they've
Pike
actually
is an
added,
executive producer of this absolute dumpster fire, which is this TV show.
yeah. And I'm even looking at the word the wording of it.
Hmm. Talking about wording, I actually looked on IMDb. For this episode, they stole the taglines on IMDb, the taglines for everything that would happen during this proposed era, this time frame that the TV show, this particular episode is supposed to portray, none of it is accurate. They even have on IMDb, Rand is starting to question Matt's behavior. Not once during the episode is Rand questioning anything. He's not even questioning what he wants for dinner.
Right. Do you want to hear with the summary of the book, the basic summary, not the lengthy summary, for the Robert Jordan book, the original?
Go ahead.
When their village is attacked by Trollocs, monsters thought only to be legends, 3 young men, Rand, Matt, and Perrin, flee in the company of the Lady Moiraine, a sinister visitor of unsuspecting powers. Thus begins an epic adventure set in a world of wonders and horrors, where what was and what will be and what is may yet fall under the shadow. Right? That's the description. That's the summary of the book. You want to hear the summary?
That's close. Really,
You want to hear the
like
summary?
spot
You want
on
to hear
to
the new
book.
summary? You want to
Right.
hear the new summary? Now an original series starring Rosamund Munn as Moiraine. This first novel by Rob Jordan, #1 bestseller.
Give it 3
This is
seconds.
actually in the summary.
Sorry. Give it 3 seconds. You have a slight lag.
Right,
Go.
hold on. I know what could be causing it. Right. Oh. It'll kick us out. We should be back. Jim, can you hear me now? Hello? You hear me now?
Just needed to find my own button. But
No,
yeah,
basically, I think
you're better now.
yeah. Right. So the summary not only has it got saying it's from the original Amazon, starring Rosamund Pike as Moiraine. It's got the first novel and it describes it, and then the summary. Listen to the difference in this summary. The wheel of time comes to pass, so it goes through about the shit. Comes to pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legends fade to myth, and myth, long forgotten when the age gave it birth, returns again. Was what and will be and what is may yet fall under the shadow. So they've added that to that end of that saying from Robert Jordan.
Mhm.
Then the next part is the big difference. Listen, Moiraine Damodred arrives in Emmons Field on a quest to find the one prophesied to stand against the Dark One, a malicious entity sowing the seeds of chaos and destruction. When a vicious band of half men, half beast invade the village seeking their master's enemy, Moiraine persuades Randall Thor and his friends to leave their home to enter a large, unimaginable world filled with dangers awaiting and the shadow and the light. A bit different from the original one, where it affects the 3 young men, Rand, Matt, and Perrin. So it basically tells you these are the 3 focal points for the first book. Whereas in this one, it's a case of the village is attacked. So they've edited it, and I think they're taking all the stuff with Rand out and they're putting all this pish in. So the fact is, there's 2 different versions: the original one and this new one, which is 3 hours more. And to me, that's why would there be 3 hours more? Because if they were cutting stuff out, it would be a lot less. If they're adding stuff in, that means they're twisting the book already.
But that's something we've already seen evident in episode 3 and episode 4. They
Yeah, but
removed original content to put their own junk in, stuff that never happened.
yeah. Well,
It's
all I can
in.
say, ladies and gents, if you are wanting to and getting the audiobook books from Audible, do not get the Eye of the World read by Rosamund Pike. Get the one read by Kate Redding and Michael Kramer. Far superior, and
Absolutely.
there's no extras added in it or things cut out. It is
No,
just dire.
they
And
are
it's a good
reading the
30
book
hours
as it
of
is. I have no idea. But this is what I was saying by episode 1 when I actually learned that Amazon is promoting the executive producer, Rosamund Pike, who's playing Moraine in the TV show. She's now reading the audiobook as well. I said, either she's going to go, holy crap, I really screwed this up, or they will edit it.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds to me,
They're editing it. To me, they're editing
you've
it and putting it up.
added, what was the original? 29 hours. The original is 29 hours.
Well,
Now it's 32 hours.
3
They
minutes.
added
It's 3 minutes under
3 hours.
30. It's 3 minutes under 30 hours. The new one is 5 minutes under 33 hours.
They
So they've added
added
3
so
hours.
much content. So clearly, even if she's completely unaware that she's not reading the original book, they've added content. So she's not aware that she's producing garbage.
It's either that or else she's reading it slow, so slow. That's the only
doubt
thing
that.
I can think of. Our reading speed is a lot slower.
I really doubt that.
That's the only
Not,
thing.
not to that
If they
extent.
turn around and say nothing's been changed, then she has to be reading it slower.
But if nothing's been changed, literally by her reading the first page, she would go, crap, I screwed this up.
No, see, you're assuming these people actually give a toss. She'll just read it because somebody said, here's money, would you read that? Aye. Oh, it's the one you're doing it. So don't care, as long as you pay me. I don't care if
I would agree, actor on actor level. Hey, would you like £250,000? Say these words. But she's not just an actor. She's an executive producer of the TV show.
still doesn't care because the TV show, as far as they're concerned, Beckin, what do you call him, Brandon Sanderson turns around and says, well, I didn't agree with it, but we're just assuming it's another turning of the wheel, so it's not the story. So it's a different story. So what the hell is it? What's the point in having that book? Why are you using all the characters? Because if it was a different story, because the last Dragon Reborn was Lutheran. I'm getting annoyed at
all I can say, and this is my Christmas wish for Rosamund Pike, may you be broke and poor and live on the street for the rest of your life, because
the problem is
burned my childhood memory to the ground.
But see, the problem is I don't even care enough about actually wishing good or bad in any of these people because
no, I don't wish her bad.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Bad, but she does not deserve for burning something so amazing. Even if she wanted the whole wokeist blah blah
yeah, that's why I think
Twitter agenda,
the classics. That's
this
why I keep
TV
telling
show
people
would have been the perfect platform because it already has all of that within it. It just happened to be built in an amazing universe. You have this. Oh no, women can do it just as great as you can. Oh no, this ogre here, he's just like us. He's our friend. You shouldn't treat him different because he looks different. It has all of those aspects. And they just nuked it to the ground. So this is where I'm going. You don't deserve this, especially if you went for the wokest agenda. Oh, we're poorly treated because we look
intersectional feminism. It's basically a man can't actually help a woman or mentor a woman. And every TV program has to have a certain number of check boxes. Gay men, check. Gay women, check. Women
exactly,
in power,
which
check.
is why I
Men
wish
the
all of
underdogs,
them
check.
to burn.
Simps, check. Basically, these are all check boxes, and that's the point. If anybody ever tells you they're going to actually make a TV show of your book, scream, run and hide.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. Do not watch it. If
this TV show had completely destroyed it for me. I will not go anywhere near the Amazon Lord of the Rings remake. I will.
Well,
not
I'm not even actually clicking on Amazon.
No, I'm on the level. If Friday Night Tides is even remotely discussing it, I will not watch the Friday Night Tides even though I know I will likely hear really how badly they did. If Critical Drinker brings it up, if Ash is bringing it up, hey, even if it's Sargon Akkad during his purple
See, the thing is, when
lotus
they're bringing
season,
it up, they're telling you how bad it is.
no, I won't listen. Not at all. It will give zero attention for me. If I see that is part of the tagline, I will just go, nope. Because I have to admit, I'm a larger fan of Wheel of Time than Lord of the Rings, even though I love
Same
Lord of
here.
the Rings.
I've read Lord of the Rings, but it never resonated with me.
But
Even the
this is
movies
what they
didn't
did
resonate.
to Wheel of Times. What do you think they're going to do to Lord of the Rings?
Well, when you've got an intimacy coordinator, it's just going to be a fest. Nothing more. That's literally what it's going to be. It's going to be Game of Thrones. Everybody showing their bits and pieces just to get people to watch it. Look, naked people, watch our program. It's crap. But
Hey! I'm a boy looking at the woman. Just to use the seasonal Love Actually reference there. Don't really mind naked ladies or naked boys, but let's say above age 18, just YouTube. Don't mind seeing people. Don't really care. But if there is a material you're building it off on, something I've read since the early 1980s. Yes, since the early 1980s. I know I don't look that old, but I could read in 1981. And you going, oh, let's put some boobies and butts and stuff in it. It's like, no, that was never part of the story. The intimacies between elves and humans and Numenors and
they did
ogres
it with
and
Game of Thrones,
Urukai.
and it worked. Game of Thrones got a large following because season 1, everybody had their bits. It simple as that. You can tell because when season 3 came around, everybody signed saying, "I ain't doing that again." They said, "Fine, we're already in. We
You
don't
see,
need."
the only thing that caught me to Game of Thrones season 1, gigantic wall, these 3 lonely riders, midwinter time. This might be maybe why I'm Jim the Viking. But it's
Yeah.
winter time, they're going out, they're exploring something, they find dead people, and it's mysterious, and it's like they're not sure what's killed them. That's what hooked me. I will say the redheads that are shown later on, easy on the eyes,
I couldn't tell you.
but not why I watched it.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you because I didn't watch it. First couple of episodes, I just went, "Nope, not for me," and out. For the simple fact is, but I'd read about it, and you can tell. Spartacus great, and there was a lot of sex and violence in it. However, it was to portray the Roman life. So every episode was a similar idea. Even the blood and sand, the 2 other seasons, it was a similar idea. There was still plenty of sex and violence because it was all about the Roman way of life.
But
Not
not
a
only
case
that,
of right, we've got a following now. We don't need to do that, so we'll just show the violence. Sex is out of it because we've got the fact. So all you people can keep your clothes.
but even in Spartacus,
only to get an audience.
the nudity, the sex stuff, was actually part of all the power politics. Because if you recall, Lucy Lawless, who is fantastic in this, she has this younger lady.
I can't recall it
she's
because I
really
didn't
gorgeous,
watch it.
Bianca something, but she's married to more powerful Roman than Lucy Lawless' husband is. He's the one running it's not dojo, whatever the gladiator school is called. So she's trying to curry favor, but they constantly tit for tatting back and forth. And this is where she's managing to trick her. Oh, you can do all these sexy boobs out, blah blah blah. She's the younger lady obviously has her mind on the gladiator that Lucy Lawless wants, but she's tricking her into getting into the bed with But that's the power politics.
I don't-
The
I'm not
nudity
talking-
means nothing
I'm
to
not
me,
talking
but
about
it's power play.
I'm not talking about actually in the story. That's the thing. I'm talking about the people behind it. That is sex and violence in this part is over the 3 years shows it's part of the story.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones was only to get a hook to get people to watch it because as soon as they had an audience, what did they do?
All nudity out.
Don't need to do it again. All the boobies put away because we've got an audience. We don't need to show them again. That's when I say if they had continued all the way through the 5 seasons, they still had the same sex and violence throughout, then that's part of the story. It's not part of the story if the actors would say,
8 seasons, but it's
Right.
basically 3 seasons. They
the
hook
thing
you
is,
in.
if you do that, then that shows that the actors are actually saying, I don't want to do it now because I'm famous enough. And they're saying, okay, sorry, you're right. You're in this character and this is what this character does. Oh, I don't want to do it. Then you don't sign a contract to be that character if you're going to change that character. That's what I'm saying. It shows that it was only there for getting audiences in. And that's why I stopped watching it. Because if sex and violence is just there for an audience, I have no interest.
But you see, this is where a lot of actors, and I believe it's more today than it is yesterday, so to speak. Jason Momoa, tall, charismatic, actually good looking, and he definitely looks like he can fit in an action role. If Jason Momoa is wielding like 2 submachine guns, it's going bap, 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 you wouldn't for a second hesitate that he could not do that. He comes from this, but he brought his charisma through. Whereas the rest of them, I've seen the other stuff a lot of these characters done. So Jon Snow, Daenerys, it's garbage. It's supposed to be good stories, but it's kind of like Game of Thrones. Sorry, not Game of Thrones. It's Wheel of Time. The films they've acted in has come from amazing material, but they're just such mediocre actors. There is nothing there. I mean, Jason Momoa, despite the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger is Conan the Barbarian,
Mm-hmm.
full stop, he was not bad. He wasn't great, but he was by no means bad. He really managed to carry that. Story was a little bit pants, but if you just look at his character, his portrayal, amazing. Now, I'm not only saying that because I'm actually a fan of Jason Momoa through Stargate Atlantis,
Mm-hmm.
where he's Ronan.
Ronan Dax, yep.
Ronan Dax, but he is supposed to be Ronin because he's a dishonored warrior from his planet or whatever it is. So they played a little bit there, but amazingly portrayed. And he has that whole balance against what was the Canadian science guy?
Rodney.
Rodney McKay, yeah. But they played so amazingly well off of each other. He is strong, tall, buff warrior. This guy is just talking nonsense to him. It's like, can you please tell me what to shoot? Whereas the guys go, it's like, please don't shoot that big red thing. It's a lovely chemistry there. But when I look at, what is it, Emilia Clarke, Kit Harington, heck, even Sean Bean nowadays, sad to say, good actor, but after Game of Thrones, they're nothing. They're not stirring emotions. They're not doing anything. And I will give them, because I know we're probably running quite late here, and I know I've been up forever. Jackie Chan.
We'll finish in 10 minutes. That'll be a 2-hour stream.
Yeah, Jackie Chan. against Timothy Dalton. It's a quite recent film. It's very little Jackie Chan doing ninja
The
moves and
Foreigner.
everything. The Foreigner.
Yeah.
Holy crap, does Jackie Chan lift everything to the forefront? Emotion, reason why he should go and do this, reason why he should care. All of that is just like brought forward. And you're just going, when is it gonna be like lift up like a foldable ladder and just smack people in the face? Doesn't really happen. He does action, just doesn't do the stereotypical Jackie Chan, like, oh, I can
Yeah,
jump
but
through a window.
that's because this is not a stereotypical Jackie Chan movie.
Exactly,
This is
but him
type.
as actor.
Yeah, but as I'm saying, there's different characters. You've got characters who play themselves no matter what. Michael Douglas to an extent, but what do you
Sadly,
call him?
Sean Connery too, but Sean Connery is
Sean Connery
Sean
to an
Connery.
extent. He always plays Sean Connery just in a different role. But you've got ones like The Shining. What do you call him?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. He plays the exact same role. Yet you've got other ones who can lose themselves. That guy actually played the Joker. Accordingly, people he wouldn't address
Heath Ledger's.
Heath Ledger. Accordingly, he wouldn't address people out with his character unless he was doing it in character. To me, that they're just the other side of the nutcases that
That's also down the Joaquin Phoenix line, but I love Joaquin Phoenix as the Roman emperor in Gladiator.
yeah. But what I'm
Crowe.
saying is, if you've got somebody who can act the part and then just come out and go into it, it's fine. That's an actor. Somebody who actually loses himself in a part and actually have to actually only be spoken to in character of the character they're taking on. To me, those people should actually be wheeled away, put in a rubber room. Then you've got ones who just play themselves, and then sorry, you're not actually an actor. You're just actually on screen as yourself, and you're a reader rather than an actor now.
But
So those ones are-
this is my huge pain on this. So if you take the famous people from Game of Thrones
I wouldn't know.
and the stuff they did after Game of Thrones, or even before, and then you take someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger, 1969, Hercules, big muscle, do stuff. And then you had the action era there where I was like, get down, get to the chopper, those kind of things. But then he suddenly started playing a little bit in comedies. So one of my favorite is True Lies.
True Lies. Jamie Lee Curtis is superb.
Jamie Lee Curtis is so gorgeous in that one. Absolutely. But he's actually acting. It's not just I have big muscle, I shoot, kill.
Yeah. If you want to see a good action comedy, Last Action Hero.
Again, we have
Schwarzenegger having a laugh and a joke at himself.
But that is an actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. But Game of Thrones, truthfully, couldn't tell you anybody that was in it. Didn't watch it, so it means nothing.
There's been quite a few people in there, and I will say I have, for the first time, had a little bit of doubt that the actors might actually have told the producer or the director to just, could you kindly go and rotate on a spherical device, basically go screw yourself. And that is the guy playing the Hound, but it's also the Hound's brother. They just went, no, we're supposed to be these tall, dark, menacing, really bad guys. We're fine you destroying our stories a little bit, but no, we're supposed to be these 6'5", absolutely murderous giants. People should fear us and scream wherever we go. They managed to keep that quite well, but the way Cersei and her incestuous brother died.
See, I
I
can't
mean,
comment.
I
don't know-
like Nick.
can't
I like
comment.
the
Don't know the
Nicholas guy.
characters. Don't know the characters, so I can't comment.
No, the guy that played Cersei's brother is Nicholas something. He's been in some really good films. But I'm glad if you haven't seen it this far in, enjoy these films where you've seen him in that you enjoy, because
I don't even know who
he is
it is
good.
because I haven't watched it, so I couldn't even picture any of these people. So I have no concept
Remember,
of who they
you
are.
go perfection and don't look into it.
I
Let it
won't
be.
because I've no interest in Game of Thrones. As I said, a couple of episodes in, I thought, nope, not for me. Never watched it again.
But
I
enjoy
want,
it.
I want a book where you've got characters you can get involved with and you can see them grow. But if they're going to kill the characters off because, oh, expectations subverted, well, what's the point? I like
Yeah.
that character. Okay, we've killed him. Then what's the point in actually getting involved? And what's the point in reading any further in the book? Because the next character you're enjoying, they're going to kill, or the next character they're going to kill. So there's nothing to get involved with. So it's a case of don't care. So never picked up the books. I was in the charity shop the other day. Booked every one of the current ones out, sitting on the shelf for.
It's sad to say there is a reason these ones are in a charity
Had the
shop.
fire and ice all down the side. It had all the books, and it had them all sitting there. Walked past it, didn't care.
But
The
there is a
box looked
reason they
really
are
good
in the
as a
charity
set.
shop.
The box looked really good as a set because it wasn't just the books. It had this box they were all in, and it had fire and ice down it, and it had nice. But I just thought, I don't care how cheap it is. I ain't picking it up because no interest, not even in the books. Even though this set looked really good in the charity shop and it's inexpensive. Well, I wouldn't waste my time. Even if they gave it for free, I wouldn't waste my time with it. Yeah, I mean, so it's things like that. So this program, once it's finished, season one is finished. I'm never going. Give an example. There's certain programs I've got. I will cut them onto my machine because it's easier sometimes than the disk. There's some that I'm no as keen on. I'll just go, oh, I didn't like that episode, so I'll buy that episode, but I'll keep the rest. Like QI, I've got a load of QI. I've only got it up to a set point. I think it was a couple of episodes with Sandy Toddford took over. After that, I just thought it's a load of piss, so I stopped it at a certain season. But I've still got all the
She
original
was
ones.
far greater as a
Yeah.
guest.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, so I've got all of them up to that point. This is the type of program. See, as I'm watching the episodes, I'm deleting them. I'm not even keeping them on machine. So I could get them on Amazon. I'm not even giving Amazon a click. I'll find them other places and I'll
Yeah.
watch them and then I'll bin them.
After this, I like Amazon as a term of service and what they can do, and the fact that I live in an area where I click something and I'll have it at my front door in less than 12 hours. Living in London, 13.5 trillion people, whatever it is, 13.5 million, I believe it's the actual number, but because of where I live with so good infrastructure and everything, I can get almost anything I want within 12 hours of clicking buy. Even so, the way Amazon has signed off and treated these things, and then hearing how Amazon is treating stuff, I'm just going, I realize it's a service I require occasionally, but I'm literally looking for alternatives. Can I go to a charity shop and get this DVD? Okay, they don't have inventories. I'm not guaranteed to find anything. But I actually rather take that time out of my life than spend 2 seconds ago, click, click, buy.
Well, the thing is with Amazon, I've got it. I've got it for my Alexis. Shut up. I've got it for
Hey
my
Alexa, order PJ, the most
Alexa,
expensive
shut
item
up.
on.
Shut up, or else I'll switch you off.
And my Alexa will come down.
Yeah, I'll teach you. But I've got it, so I've got it for that because obviously my wife listens to
Sorry,
music.
Alexa, stop.
Alexa, shut up.
My Alexa is pure and pure. She's a thoroughbred. She doesn't listen to me.
Mine does. I just tell it to shut up, and it does.
No, mine doesn't.
Yeah. But the thing is, so I've got the Amazon for that. I used to do a lot of ordering for like my magic cards and stuff like that. So I've still got that. And I've got it for my Audible. So all part and parcel. However, I don't care enough about it. So if I lost it, all my audio books would be the only things that I would actually lose.
Yeah.
My wife would have her music lost, but
technically, Audible is supposed to still be a
available to you.
subsidiary, so it's technically not consumed. So
Yeah.
it could still split, but you would still own all your audiobooks.
Yeah, but the problem is if you lost your account because you're not a member, they think they're going to care. You've paid for them, they've already got the money. So a year later, if your account gets locked out, bummer, isn't that?
But you see, this is why I'm signed up to Amazon Prime. I pay roughly 80 quid for next day delivery on anything and everything I want, and other services as well. And I believe, could be wrong, but I believe Audible is within that. So I do get 1 credit for free. Do check your terms and services, gentlemen and ladies, and see your services, whatever the pronouns is.
Yeah, I've got Amazon
But-
Prime
but
and Audible.
I pay 80 quid for the Amazon service, but I'm signed up to the Amazon Preview. And so far this year, I got Amazon Previews that have given me Amazon vouchers worth almost 220 quid. So I pay nothing to have Amazon, and it only takes me a couple of hours out of the year to watch a new TV show or look at the product they want to promote and everything. And I will say, if you only get to look at the product, would you buy this household blender kitchen thingy? You'll get like £2. But I've actually had offers where you watch the 3 first episodes of a TV show and you get 20 quid in voucher for Amazon. And I kid you not, I'll probably get one more before end of December. So I will be closer to 200 quid. But my yearly subscription fee to Amazon is 80.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
I'll get more money back than I put in. So
But the thing is, I'm not even giving Amazon a click for this show because it's shit. I don't want them to actually know that I actually watched it. So
I
I've got Amazon
thoroughly
Prime and I'm
agree.
still not giving a click. But that's the 2 hour mark. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you like what you see and you want to hear us rant and rave about this pile of pish, hit the subscribe button. Hit the
It's
like it
pile
if you
and
did.
fish, but if you want good quality content, join us next time for Lethal Weapon and other Christmas movies.
Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Wednesday nights we do Wednesday nights movies. Saturday
Oh,
we do Let's Talk Geeky. That is talking about Christmas at the moment. We are obviously looking at just general Christmas movies. We've already covered the 3 movies.
It's because I've been working throughout the entire weekend, so I don't even realize what day it is. Yes, it's supposed to be Sunday, but for me, I work today.
Yeah.
But no, so the midweek is...
I've been up since 4:20 this morning.
Oh, you youngling.
It's only because I had to cut my stream short last night, so I got out my kit. I was up at 4:20. I've already travelled up and down to Glasgow twice, and that was before I sat down to watch the TV. So, anywho, thank you very much for joining us. And remember, ladies and gents, I'm not old, I'm classic.
I'm just tired.
And he's just tired. So, it's a good night from me, and it's a good night from him. Good night.